Hello everybody, Frankie here from Vibrant Center for Voice and Movement. And I'm joined with my teaching assistant, Taboo, who's going to hang out with us. And today I'm going to add on the next resonator in the chain. So last week I taught you the double bass resonator, and the next one is the cello. And I really love this resonator, particularly for folks who tend to talk up here a lot. The cello can offer a whole new range and support for your sound. And it's also incredibly useful to be able to dip in and bring in a little bit more of that cello sound, particularly for really dramatic moments, times when dropping in a little bit more would give some weight to your words or be able to land you in a whole other place in terms of your character's emotional life in that moment. So to start off with, I'm going to get you just to get up and get a little bit moving, just shaking out your arms. Shake a leg, shake another leg. Give a whole body shake all the way down and then all the way up. Nice, and then just find a gentle jump a few times. And feel the weight of your arms here. And let your head go a little. And then let that jump get a little smaller. Just feel that springiness. And then keeping your feet on the floor, just finding that gentle jump, gentle bend and release in the knees. And then letting that jaw go. And then letting that get a little smaller. Oh, and a little smaller. And just feeling how just taking those few seconds to move your body might change the way that you feel in this moment. You might feel a little bit more of your blood pumping. You might feel a little bit more open or relaxed or a little bit more energized. Isn't it amazing how even something as small as that can be a really useful shift? And now for the cello, because the cello, for the way I teach it, really has a lot to do with the back of the body. I'm going to get you to do a basic spine roll down with me because I want you to stretch out and warm up your spine. I'm going to turn to the side. You can stay facing front and just simply keep your knees bent. And in fact, maybe give a little extra bend in your knees if you're like me and tend to hold your weight up a little high. I tend to live with my center up a little bit high, and I tend to kind of lock my knees if I'm not thinking about it and making this part of my practice. And just feel even how locking the knees and releasing the knees, and it can be a little less than this, but I really want you to feel this. Just feel what that does with the weight of your body, and think about your tailbone here. Notice what happens with your tailbone as you move between locking and releasing. Nice. And then just find a place that feels good with a little bit of knee bend, letting the jaw go. Drop your chin to your chest and breathe. And then let the weight of your head take you over. Keep those glutes released. And don't rush this. Take a few breaths to get to the bottom. And this is not a flexibility exercise. So about here, this is where I'm really feeling the part of my spine that attaches to my pelvis. And just keep going a little. Until you come to what feels like the end of your roll down. Keeping the knees soft. It doesn't matter if you touch the floor or not. It doesn't matter how tight your hamstrings are. You're just breathing and hanging out here for a few moments. And it might sound obvious,
but just notice that your weight should be balanced between your feet. I know I tend to be a very right-sided person, and I have a few injuries on my left side, and so I like to just shift my weight a little bit side to side to check in, and then find my center down here, keeping that nice long back of your neck so your head is really released. And you're just gently finding a very slow movement, shift side to side, and then find center from that. And just hanging out here and breathing, you might find that your hamstrings are stretching without force. This is yielding. And now slowly stack the spine, just thinking about one vertebra at a time, building the spine back up, finding the minimum amount of effort to do this. Let the bones do the work. Stacking the skeleton until you start to come to your shoulders and your head, letting the head be the last thing to come up.
And when it does come up, just think of it balancing beautifully on the top of your spine. Your eyes, if they're closed, they might open gently. And just notice what that feels like. Don't rush to adjust or shift anything, even if your hair is in your face. Just feel that, imprint that experience inside your body. And I'm just going to give you some information about why this is so important. I talk about releasing muscles, letting the bones do the work. In fact, when you are resonating, when you're thinking about big open spaces in your body, this is a really valuable way to also build your awareness of your sound, the sensation of your sound. Because in fact, your sound moves off your body like this, and then it encounters people and objects and the walls of the room. So your sound is physical. Your voice touches people. Your voice touches this part of yourself that is so profoundly, intimately you, and then comes off your body in waves. And then it touches others. It comes to a microphone, and then people hear you later on through a recorded medium, perhaps. But your voice is actually making physical contact with other people, with your scene partners. And the shape that voice is coming off your body in is the shape of your bones. So really building in time to think about releasing the muscles and thinking about the bones of your body and the way that your bones carry vibration is an incredibly valuable skill, no matter where you are in your career, no matter where you are in terms of your focus, whether it is voice acting, whether it's improv, whether it's theater work, or working on film and TV sets. It doesn't matter. Using this awareness of the bones of your body is one of those little magical tools, is a skill to build that gives you that extra little So now we're going to explore the cello resonator more directly, and I'm going to get you just to bend over and give the lower back of your back a pat, and let some sound out. So I'm exploring the top of the back of my pelvis and even the lower part of my rib cage. And I'm using sometimes the back of the heel of my hand and sometimes my fingers, depending on what I want. And now just roll up. And it's not a bad idea to give yourself some support there, especially if breath and voice work is new to you. It's a question of building muscle and building support in that part of your core. So let's give the back a little bit of support, and this is giving some added awareness, keeping the knees relaxed, and we're going to say cello, 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 cello. And you can really enjoy this. Now I want you to really think about your sound wrapping around this part of your body and emanating out in all directions. Cello, 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 cello. Cello. Perfect. And the next thing we're going to do is play a game. Now you have an advantage over me because I can't see you. This is the How Dare You game, and you're going to unleash your inner Duchess or Duke or whoever feels very high in their class and very likes to look down on other people. And you're simply going to make observations about the space and about what I'm wearing. It's not a personal thing. It's totally fine. So for example, and every line is going to start with how dare you. So for example, I can do it about myself because I can see myself, and then you can also make those observations about me as well. Find your own. So I would go, how dare you wear a gray shirt? How dare you stand on carpet? Make sure you're breathing and thinking of that sound coming around you. You can even use your hands this time. How dare you have bare feet? How dare there be shadows on the wall behind you? And let's do one more. How dare you wear sweatpants? Lovely. And then just give a gentle and standing. Yeah, and you can even jiggle it a little. So really thinking about awareness of this part of your body and thinking about the spaces that live inside of you and how those spaces can support and color your sound so that you're really using your whole body. If you think about an opera singer, opera singers tend to be someone who really embodies that, pun intended, I guess, who really embodies that, right? Their whole body is open and vibrating, and often they have lots of like space with their arms so that they can really use that spaciousness as opposed to standing like this, spaciousness and feeling how their sound, their vibration just comes off of their bones and moves through space, and that really moves people. Even if you don't particularly think that opera is your thing. Also a reminder, there's lots of great contemporary operas as well as more classical ones. But even just being around that kind of music is very emotional and very moving, and yet it sort of has that has a certain class around it too, as often how people treat it, right? That only certain people go to the opera, or if I go to the opera, I must be pretty special. Well, but this sound of music that really comes from open places in the body is incredibly moving. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm going to sound like this when I want to use my cello resonator. It simply means that if that's 100%, then perhaps for a more realistic TV character, I might use 20% or 30%, right? There's also a lot of TV and film characters who are not super condensed and simplified. There's some that are incredibly big or incredibly operatic in terms of how they are, or in terms of what serves the aesthetic of the show. So that's something else to think about, right? Someone like Jean-Luc Picard, right, who is the captain of a spaceship, has moments when he's giving orders, and he very much uses that theater voice theater voice skill set to color those moments, right? But it of course doesn't mean that when he's doing like a really intimate scene that he's talking like this, right? So I think that often sometimes people think about voice as being only for theater or only for singing and being really big and dramatic and over the top. But really, those skills start to change your neurological connections and help to build the strength in your muscles for support and openness and release. And then you're able to take those skills and just simply decide how much or how little you want to amplify them, but they're still always there. It's a little bit like football players taking dance lessons so that they can learn to be quick on their feet or lighter on their feet. They're not dancing in the middle of a game, but those skills are very much a part of their body and really aid and support what they're there to do on the field. So we have done double bass, we have done cello, and we're now going to move up into the chest resonator next week. So join me then, and we will keep going and exploring the resonators and how the resonators can be personalized to you and support and amplify your own voice. So take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I'll see you all again soon.